Greetings, Alchemists. Welcome to my portal. I hope you guys are doing amazingly well. This is going to be an almost personal reading. 1010 cycles closing out. What are you currently releasing? What cycles are closing out in your life at this time? Right now it is the strawberry full moon, but this is a timeless message for whenever you see it. So we're going to start with tarot and we're going to get into this. What cycle is closing out for this collective? If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, check out my website, which will be linked down below. Cashapp, PayPal, tips, donations all support my content creation as well. If you would like to keep seeing more content from me, make sure you guys subscribe, like. The Five of Cups, the Chariot. Alright, we're going to get 6 cards out. You have the Six of Swords in the reverse. The Nine of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Nine of Cups. Okay. So the Nine of Cups wanted to also show up in this reading with the Five of Swords. So with the Five of Swords and the Nine of Cups, I'm seeing that you guys had to allow yourself to exist in a certain role, so to say, or to kind of play out a certain role in order to get your wish fulfillment. So you guys had to play the game in order to win the game in some sort of way. So a cycle is closing out for you guys in terms of turbulence. Maybe there's been a lot of turbulent energy around you, and you've just been trying to work through that or work with that energy. In some ways, really feeling like that energy is working against you. You guys really could have been in environments, in workplaces, in situations, in groups, even where you didn't necessarily feel like that's where you were meant to be, and even you could recognize like an enemy or an opposing force in those spaces, but you knew in some way that you had to let yourself exist in those spaces so that you could gain some sort of advantage, gain wisdom, gain knowledge, so that you could come out on top in regards to something. So you guys are really getting a wish fulfillment in the sense that a cycle is closing out of you having to compromise in order to gain some sort of stability or like accreditation or credentials, especially if this is about like the workplace as well. um, there's something about you like kind of existing in the hierarchy even though you know that doesn't necessarily resonate with you, so that you could kind of gain intel. So in some ways you guys could have kind of felt like you were a spy or a secret agent, in a lot of ways in your life, because you knew that these situations, these environments weren't meant for you. It wasn't your true energy, it wasn't your true essence, but you were using it to your advantage, and not necessarily in a very schemy way where you were kind of putting others down or hurting others to get the advantage, but more so you were like gaining intel, gaining wisdom, gaining knowledge. And so this is the cycle that's closing out for you guys, is having to kind of compromise who you truly are in order to gain some sort of advantage. This also could be about like living environments as well. Maybe you had to really live somewhere that you didn't really resonate with you, that you didn't really want to be, so that you could gain that financial freedom. And what's next for you guys is closing out that cycle, having that financial freedom to do what you want to do, be the person you want to be, and create what you truly want to create for yourself. So it's like the long haul, like you just stick it out for the long haul, um, or different ways you had to just compromise. Like I'm really getting closing out a cycle of compromising, closing out a cycle of overthinking, anxiety. Being in these sort of spaces maybe cause a manifestation of anxiety, stress, worry, dis-ease with the Six of Swords in the reverse. So now you're exiting that space of dis-ease, you're exiting that space of dissatisfaction, and you're moving into your wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. So be careful with the Five of Cups not to bring this energy with you. Now may be a good time whenever you're seeing this reading to do some sort of energy cleansing or do some sort of energetic releasing, so that you're not bringing this sort of negative energy that you've had to balance and counteract in the recent past. You're not bringing that with you into the next phase of your journey. So In some ways, you did have to kind of build an exterior that doesn't necessarily resonate with the true essence of your being. But now it's time for you to drop that exterior and leave that behind. Leave that behind. Don't take that with you because it has no place where you're going. Some of you guys, you could have felt like you were failing as well. Maybe you didn't necessarily perceive what you were doing as this sort of opportunity for you to grow and gain wisdom and knowledge, even in a space that doesn't necessarily feel like it's right for you. You instead could have felt like you were failing or losing yourself in certain things, but you never really lost yourself. Some of you guys may be more disconnected than others. I think for some of you guys, you knew what you were doing. For others of you, it felt more like survival and like not really your choice or your decision. But either way, the end result is still the same, where you have that wisdom, that knowledge, that freedom, that skill set, those abilities, that kind of chameleon energy. Maybe you don't resonate with the chameleons, you don't want to be a chameleon spirit, but you have this ability to be the chameleon when necessary. So this is about balancing your darkness and your light with the Chariot card in order to overcome obstacles. So you guys have found that balance with your light and your dark. You're not denying one more than the other. You're not leaning fully into the dark, but you're also not leaning fully into the light only. You're allowing yourself to recognize, your duality and even like your non-duality in that sense too. You're allowing yourself to recognize all different parts of yourself, and you're not limiting yourself. So because you haven't allowed yourself to be limited, you're going to notice that your reality has a lot less limitations. So there are limitations in reality, things that we can physically do and can't physically do in the spirit realm versus in, the earthly body. But everyone's limitations are really also rooted in their perception, in their perspective. So you guys have released a lot of limiting perspectives or perceptions through this process. And as the cycle closes out, you'll realize that based on how limitless and free your reality really is. So you have that demon side, that demon energy connection, but you also have the angelic realm connection as well. And you're able to really flow through these different states of consciousness without being really blocked off by one perspective or by a limited viewpoint. So this past cycle is really about you being able to explore like all of your like stretchability, your malleability, your flexibility, and realizing like how like stretchy you are, so to say, like how much you can really stretch from this way to that way, and like how um, you're not just kind of one. You're multifaceted, and this is about you like embracing that multifaceted nature that you truly have. Okay. So you guys have pyrite, good change of fortune, success, renewed focus, and leadership. So this next phase of your life, you are moving into a space of leadership. You're moving into a phase of leadership. Pyrite may be a great crystal for you guys to get right now. There's a renewed sense of focus for you guys. So you're getting your priorities right, or you're getting your priorities in the right perspective. And what's right in terms of your priorities, that's really about what's right for you, not what others may think your priorities should be. You have ametrine, spiritual guidance, angelic realm, clear stress, and truths revealed. Yeah, you guys are in a really good space to see things clearly for what they are, to not be limited in your by your own perspectives, limited by your own perspectives in a way where you don't see things clearly for what they are, but instead through your own limitations. So there's just this ability to see things for what they are and see the truth for what it is, whether it's a truth that you like or dislike. Your ego, your emotions, and your feelings aren't in the way of seeing the truth. You just see the truth no matter what. So let's see, what archetype are you guys currently embodying right now as you're ending out this cycle and opening a new one. What is the archetype of your new cycle? The unseen. Okay. The unseen. When light, clairvoyance, guidance, whispers of wisdom. When dark, dark looming energy, unwillingness to forgive. Okay, so now is the time where you guys do need to allow yourselves to be willing to forgive. The Five of Cups is signifying that for some of you guys, there is a need for that energetic clearing, that's feeling of forgiveness, especially for some of you guys. I feel like you were compromising yourselves in more of a negative way. Um, there's a need for self forgiveness as you move into this next phase of your journey. But either way, there's a need for forgiveness for others as well, and forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness towards others, and just overall acceptance and understanding. Not holding on to any anger, resentment, since that will just cloud your heart chakra, um, block you emotionally from feeling that fulfillment that you deserve to feel as you move into this next phase of your journey. So now is a good time to ask yourself, where can I practice forgiveness, or where may I have anger, resentment in my heart that I need to allow forgiveness to encompass instead of that anger. The unseen, the spirit, the ancestor, the eternal. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us, watching and waiting with wisdom both kind and instructive. We feel this presence, sense it, intuit, and then doubt its existence, though it rallies our attention time and time again. The energy of the unseen may come in many forms: a compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision or message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between worlds is ajar. Listen. The sound may seem as though they may come from the sound may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. Okay. So you guys really have the ability to see through the unseen, and that's the biggest thing that you guys need to know about this next phase in your journey, is that your clairvoyance is going to be really, really active. So lean into those clairvoyant abilities. You're now in a space where you can see things that others can't see, and that's what you've learned really from this past cycle in your life. And you're going to notice how powerful of a gift this really is as you move into the next phase of your journey, no matter where that truly is, no matter where that leads you. Your ability to see through the veil is going to be your advantage in terms of your success and abundance in the future.